Man, it's fabulous Friday. This is the day that the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it. If you're coming on, wherever you're coming on from, here's what I want you to do very quickly, please, because we have an amazing show. I have some awesome things that I want to talk to you about. I need you to hit the like button, depending on where you are. I need you to share this information with some family members and friends, whether you tag them, whether you text them. And I want you to tell Lolly Dolly, everybody, Ramon Preston, the squad, and the Ramon Preston show. We are live in his house on this beautiful Friday right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. And I am so excited. I'm so excited because we're in the fourth quarter. It is officially the fourth quarter of 2021. And I don't know about you, maybe I do know about you, that you want to end 2021 strong. And I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some things that you can do. But before we do, please do your boy a favor. Pretty please with sugar on top. Would you please put in the comments what city you watching your boy from? Who you represent? Let me know what city you're watching us from. What country you're watching us from. All of you that are out of the country that watch the Ramon Preston show, I want to show some love to you and to your country, to your tribe, to your nation. I want you to drop in the comments where you're representing, who you're representing, what you're representing, because we want to make sure that you know that we consider you to be a part of our family, a part of our tribe, a part of our community. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I am your host, Ramon Preston. Every week we bring information to you on a daily basis that is strategically, specifically designed to help you properly start, structure, and scale your businesses, your ministries, your income streams, and your wealth building dreams, because that makes up what our company is about, and it highlights our core competencies as a company. So whether it's our consulting division, whether it's our coaching division, whether it's our training division, and guess what? Whether it's our certification and licensing division, everything that we share with you is a direct extension of what we provide and produce for our company and for all of our clients. And so I want to say thank you for being a part of the show. All of you that are members of our one-year business coaching program, thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you for trusting us to serve you and to help you develop solutions and strategies to increase your income and really expand your business. And we want to continue to do that for you. I want to say thank you to all of you that are part of our Blueprint Game Plan. If you're a member of our online training program, I appreciate your support and your diligence to continue to educate yourself and to work on yourself and to go through the process of self-improvement and personal development. For those of you that are followers on social media, if you have subscribed to our YouTube page, if you have subscribed to our Facebook page, our LinkedIn page, our Instagram page, Snapchat, TikTok, I appreciate you as well. So we have so many amazing things that we're preparing to introduce in our expansion project for the fourth quarter. Some of those things include, of course, our business certification program. You've been hearing me talk a lot about that because I want to make sure that all of you who are consultants, coaches, and trainers, or all of you who want to be professional consultants, coaches, and trainers, our business certification program is tailored to train you the correct way. I want to show you the RP way of consulting, coaching, and training. And so we're launching that. We're still in pre-launch mode, but we're giving an extended offer. It is called a early bird special. And if you want to know more about that early bird special for your certification, I want you to stay tuned. We're going to extend that offer to you. Also, for those of you that want to buy a business for consulting, coaching, and training, or you just need the licensing for the material. We have a licensing program for you. It's going to be a game changer. Let me tell y'all something. I have in my years, and I'm just kind of winging it with this conversation because I know some of you really have a desire to be trainers. You have a desire to be a coach. You have a desire to be a consultant. I don't care what people say. It is one of the most rewarding spaces or industries that you can be in. But trust me when I tell you this, it is one of the most competitive industries, and it is extremely hard to get momentum financially in that industry because there are a whole lot of people who are speakers, they are lecturers, they are trainers, they are coaches and consultants. There are a lot of people who are in that space who don't make money. Very few people in that space make enough money to actually build a business around. And even a lot of people who are coaches, consultants, and trainers, or lecturers and motivational speakers who make money still don't have the skill set and the capabilities or the knowledge to build a sustainable business. So for those of you that really know without a shadow of a doubt, a part of your calling in life, a part of your mission for life is to be a consultant, to be a coach, to be a trainer, to be a speaker, to be a leader and an influencer. We have a certification program and a licensing program to not only train you on the best practices for that industry, but to also provide for you content that already exists. I've been saying this to my team, my staff, for the last few weeks since we've introduced these two programs. I've been saying to them, and they know it's true, the amount of content that I have, the amount of curriculum, the amount of training materials, the amount of information that I have for consulting, coaching, and training when it comes to business and finance and leadership and ministry and high performance and, like really being an influencer and a trendsetter. The information that I have is, number one, is world class, because a lot of the information that I have is really exclusive to me. It is proprietary because it is intellectual property that I've created, and a lot of it is so transformational that you actually have to build the muscle to understand it and to process it, because you can't find a lot of what I'm talking about in books. You can't find a lot of what I'm talking about on social media. And that's one reason why the value of what I provide continues to go up, because the more people who get introduced to it, the more people realize, man, I can't find this nowhere. And the people who are talking about things relating to what you have, they're not talking about it to that extent. You know why? Because they don't have that. And that's a part of my gift. That's a part of my calling. That's a part of my mission in life. And I'm saying that because one of the things that a lot of leaders and influencers and coaches and consultants and trainers are missing is material. They're missing content, meaning that you don't have nothing to sell. You don't have a product or a service or information or training. And I want to provide that for you. This is a part of my mission for life. I want to make it really, really, really easy for men and women to get into training, to get into teaching, to get into lecturing, to get into speaking, to get into coaching and consulting for ministry and marketplace leadership, and to be able to do it with content that's world class, that reflects their values and their views. And this is not just a pitch for my business certification and my licensing. I mean, it is a pitch, but it's not just a pitch. It's also me sharing with you why I'm so passionate about facilitating platforms like the Ramon Preston Show. I'm passionate about it because I want to educate my people. I want you to be trained, and I want you to be able to make very intelligent, sophisticated decisions when it comes to your destiny, when it comes to your legacy. So that's a part of some of the things that we're rolling out and we're introducing. We're in the process of building an entire in-house studio. So I'm just sharing with you some of my success stories, because we celebrate our success stories here. And this is another success story that we have. We just acquired another part of this whole RP Enterprise wing. And on the other side of this wing in this suite, we're going to have a built-in studio. And this studio is going to be very professional. It's going to be very technological. It's going to give us the capabilities of producing even more content and giving you a more pleasant experience on platforms like the Ramon Preston Show, Ramon Preston University, and a whole lot of other things that we're going to be doing that I ain't going to talk about yet, because we're still in the incubator. And so that's going to be something absolutely amazing. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about the 5 stages of wealth. If you have any questions, I want you to drop the questions in the comments. My team, they continue to look in those comments, and soon they won't necessarily have to like lurk as hard, even though they still going to be lurking because they just like me. But at least we will have the capabilities of you calling in, and we can actually answer your call in a more professional way. But today I want to talk about the 5 stages of wealth. Now, why do I want to talk about wealth? Because wealth is bigger than getting rich. Wealth is bigger than becoming a millionaire. Wealth is bigger than just getting the bag. So a lot of times, if you talk to me or hear me or talk to people around me, you probably hear us talking a lot about getting that bag, going after the money, making sales, increasing income. But what you may not always hear, see, and understand behind that messaging is that we're doing all those things because we want to acquire this thing called wealth. And wealth, unlike a lot of these other things that people are chasing, whether it's just money, whether it's just notoriety, whether it's just attention, whether it's just cars, clothes, condos, and everything else, wealth is actually biblical. Wealth is a biblical concept. So wealth is something that was literally birthed from the mind of God. In other words, this might be a mic drop moment for somebody, but wealth is actually godly. Woo-hoo. Did you just hear what I said? I say wealth is actually godly. So I want to talk about the 5 stages. I'm messing up. It seems like every time I get up here and the first time I start writing, I always mess up. I want to talk about the 5 stages of wealth. That's what I want to talk to you about today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to talk about the 5 stages of wealth. The 5 stages of wealth. All right. And as I said, wealth is godly. Wealth is a biblical, godly concept that I believe, based on my research and based on my understanding of specific scriptures, wealth was a biblical concept that God instituted to help his people facilitate what he wanted to accomplish on planet Earth. Now, if you just missed that statement, you better go back and re-listen to what I just said. Wealth is a biblical concept that God instituted for his people to have assistance, for him to facilitate what he wanted to and what he wants to accomplish on the planet. Now, if you need a biblical reference, if you need a scripture for what I'm talking about, I encourage you to read Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18. That's a very good scripture for you to read to have an understanding of this biblical concept of wealth and why God instituted wealth on the planet. Deuteronomy 8 and 18 gives you a clear answer on that. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is really a part of the basis or the foundation for the passion that I have to teach and to train and to really educate people and heighten their awareness and intelligence on biblical economics and entrepreneurship and business ownership. Deuteronomy 8:18 explains it. Here's what it says. Here's what it says. Prophet Moses tells Israel in Deuteronomy 8:18, for you should remember the Lord your God. This is what he tells them. He says, hey, y'all, I want you to remember God. And then he starts telling them why they should remember God. He says, first of all, you need to remember God because he's the one that gives you the power to get wealth. So God is the one that gives you the power to get wealth. This is kind of like a Bible study and a wealth session all at the same time. He says, I want y'all to remember God. Keep God on the top of your mind. And then he tells them why. Because God, the one who you're remembering, he's the one that gives you the power, P-O-W-E-R, to get wealth. So God is not giving you the wealth, but he's actually giving you the power to get wealth. And then the last clause of that verse, notice what he says. So that he may establish his covenant on the earth. So God intends to what? Establish his covenant on the earth. But how does he establish his covenant on the earth? By giving his covenant people certain power to accumulate certain things that facilitates his covenant on the earth. If you just missed what I said, you got to go back and re-listen to it. But these are the 5 stages of wealth. Literally, you have to go through each of these 5 stages if you want to at least put yourself in a position to acquire real wealth. And so number 1, we have what we call the survival stage. I'll write them all down and then I'll kind of go back and I'll talk to you about it. Number 2, we have the stability stage. We have the stability stage. Number 3, we have the saving stage. Are all those clear on there? You can see them. Number 4, we have the strategy stage. And here's what's so awesome about the Ramon Preston Show. A lot of times these are concepts that I'm working on developing material for and courses on. And I share it with y'all before I even create content and courses on them. And this is the success stage. So these are the 5 stages of wealth. And again, now within each of these stages, you hear me talk about it a lot. There are certain structures that you have to have, business structures, financial structures. There are certain systems you have to have. There are certain processes you have to have. There are certain skill sets that you have to learn. There are certain nuances. There are layers to all of the things in between. So when you see these 5, this is what a lot of people don't do when they're learning and when they're gathering information and listening to someone who's teaching. They don't understand that you can't just look at these 5 and think, oh, if I just survive, if I just get stable, if I just save, if I just develop a strategy, if I just believe in success, I'm going to get wealthy. It doesn't work like that. These 5 stages just represent certain places you are in life and the things that you have to do at those stages or in those places or phases in your life. So there's still a responsibility for you to get better with your habits, to learn, to develop skill sets. So we don't want to overlook the fact that, oh, if I just learn to be a survivor, that's going to be the first stage of me getting wealthy. No, it ain't. You're just going to be a survivor. Because I know people who are survivors and they're broke. They've survived a whole lot of things, but they didn't survive being broke. They still broke, right? So it doesn't necessitate wealth. It just means that there are 5 spaces in your life. There are 5 seasons in your life. That's what stages is about. These are certain seasons you're in that you have to learn the fundamentals in each of those stages. So let's look at the first stage, the survival stage. From a business perspective, the survival stage is basically when you're considered a hustler. Or in other words, you may be working on a job, living paycheck to paycheck, and you're trying to figure out what your side hustle is. Well, there's a science behind that. So for example, if you own a fixed income right now, or if you don't have a job, so what would be the next step for you if you're living in the survival stage? Well, the next step for you would be to either find a hustle, something that you can pour your life into, and really even before that, you should be looking to personally develop, to start working on yourself, to start educating yourself and increasing your understanding and your awareness and your intelligence about the things that are going to get you out of the survival stage. And economically speaking, what's going to get you out of the survival stage is you learning about money, you learning about business, and you taking what you're learning about money and business and start implementing it and applying it. And so a lot of people get stuck in the survival stage because all they're doing is hustling. They just waking up every day scrapping, trying to figure out. How do you know this, Ramon? Because I used to live in the survival stage. Like I was like the guinea pig for that. My personal assistant was, in no uncertain terms, saying that earlier when we was having a conversation about, you know, you come out the streets. She was like, you come out the streets, you come from wheeling and dealing, and you just always had this knack for sales. And one of my responses was, yeah, I was able to survive, but I was not polished. I was not professional. I didn't have a level of class and dignity to what I was doing, especially when I was in the streets. But let's just fast forward into when I'm in ministry and I'm a man of God and I'm a faithful husband and I'm a loving father and a brother and a friend and a spiritual father and all that. And I was still struggling. So there was a time in my life that I was a loving father, a faithful husband, a great preacher and pastor, a great family member, a leader of my family, and guess what? Economically, I was still in the survival stage. Why? Because even though I may have understood certain theological principles as a preacher, I may have understood certain leadership principles as a leader. I may have understood certain fatherhood principles, certain family principles, certain personal or physical health principles, but there were economic principles that I didn't understand because I wasn't getting information about wealth. A lot of my information was about just getting by. You know, just do what you got to do to pay the bills. So if I could just make $20,000, if I could just make $8,000, if I could just make $500, I'll be okay. That's not what's going to get me, number one, even through the first stage, and definitely would never get me to wealth. And so the survival stage is the stage when you know you're doing something, because some of you are listening to me, you're watching me right now, and you may have some good ideas. You might even be making a little money and getting a little activity, but you still feel like it ain't together. How many of y'all can agree with me on that? Like you could be at a certain point in your life, can you agree with me? And you could be doing a little business and working and have a little side hustle and you're making a little money and might be feeling good. But you can also agree that you get this feeling like something is missing. Like, man, what am I missing? Well, that's because you're still in the survival stage. And you might be hustling, but that hustle or that hustler has to turn into an entrepreneur. This is like right out of my playbook, The Entrepreneur's Guide to Business. One of my signature courses is a course called The Entrepreneur's Guide to Business. Why do you call it The Entrepreneur's Guide to Business? Because it is a guide to show you how to go from hustler into entrepreneur, into business owner, and at some point into investor and maybe asset manager. So the evolution of your business growth, the evolution of your financial growth, the evolution of your economic growth, that evolution has to bring you out of the survivor stage. So you go from hustler to entrepreneur to business owner to investor, or maybe to asset manager. if you understand concepts like the holding company and divisions and subsidiaries. So that's the survival stage. So if you are still working on getting through this stage because you're still scrapping, you don't have consistent money coming in, it's good today, it's bad tomorrow, it's good for 1 week, it's horrible for 3 weeks, it's because you have to develop as an entrepreneur. That means you have to learn more about business principles. You have to learn about business practices. You have to get better with systems and processes. And you have to create best standards, okay? Or best practices. And those standards and practices have to elevate your game so that every day you're showing up doing specific things that are what? Walking you through that survivor stage. And then you come to the stability stage. Well, your stability has to be, if it's about economics, if it's about wealth, I'm telling you right now, your stability has to be centered around one thing. Period. I don't care what nobody say. People can talk all that crap if they want to. Well, yeah, it's about my calling. It's about me serving. I just love people. Just because you love people don't mean you're making money. Just because you called by God and you got this great idea don't mean you're making money. If you're going to build wealth, and we're not talking about health is wealth. We know health is wealth, but we're not using lame excuses. Come on, don't get me to start ranting and getting ghetto. We're going to stay on point. Stability is about you getting a grip on the importance of making money, managing money, and multiplying money. So that once you become stable in this, you got to get stable in that. Because there are a lot of people who run businesses. They leave the survival stage and they're good entrepreneurs. They might even be solid business owners. They may understand some systems and processes and have some things in place. But their stability is in everything else except money. So you can't have stability in your craft, stability in your education, stability in your learning, stability in your relationships, stability with your family, and you ain't got stability with your money. Because I guarantee you, and some of y'all know I'm telling the truth, if you have stability in every area of your life except the area of your money, what do you think is going to happen? Do you know? Huh? I couldn't hear you. Say what? Huh? Say it again. Yeah, yeah, you feel me? If you don't have stability in your money, it's going to affect your marriage. Because it's only so many times you and your boo going to be sitting home broke. That after a while, you're going to be like, well, God, dog, when something going to change, baby? It's only a matter of time that your kids going to be like, are we ever going to move out of this Winnebago? It's only going to be a matter of time that you're going to look at them shoes and be like, oh my God, I just need a new pair. It's only a matter of time that you're going to be so overwhelmed with stress because of bills and because of debt and because of poverty overtaking you and your family. It's only a matter of time that it starts affecting your relationships with people. Because let me tell you something. I can easily remember days when I was tore up from the floor. I mean, real broke. I loved God. I love my wife. I love my family. I love God's people. And I'm talking about I was preaching and prophesying and praying for people and was broke. Totally broke. And I got to be honest with you. I can remember many days. Many days. I'm talking about, wow, I'm 44, almost 45. So in my 45 years, I can remember many years that I didn't even want to talk to people, not because I didn't like people, but because I didn't have money. I'm so depressed about money, I don't even want to say hey to nobody. So money has an impact on your stability. So you got to get stable with money. And guess what? If you're iffy on the money issue, guess what? It's because, this is going to be a good one here. See, I like talking to church people. If you're iffy on the money issue, meaning that, money ain't that important, I guarantee you have convinced yourself to be a survivor. You're in scarcity mode. You're always surviving. Most likely, if I talk with you, you're a victim. Like people who have a money issue, meaning that they always say, money ain't everything. I guarantee if you talk to that person enough, you'll realize, oh, they're victims. They have a victim mentality. They're always blaming other people for what's happening. They're always talking about politicians and preachers. They always have negative feedback about stuff going on. I guarantee you, because the people who don't have an issue with money, they're no longer victims because they've taken control of their own destiny and they realize, oh, duh, I live on an economic planet. In order for me to do certain things that I want to do for God, Deuteronomy 8:18, so that he may establish his covenant on the earth. So why did God talk about his covenant being established on earth in the same sentence he's talking about giving you the power to get wealth? Because he knew when I put you in a position of wealth, you will not be a survival. You will not be the victim. You will then live the scripture that says, I'm the head and not the tail, above and not beneath, the lender and not the borrower. I'm blessed in the city, blessed in the field. I'm blessed going in, I'm blessed coming out. The fruit of my labor is blessed. Everywhere the sole of my feet tread upon is land and real estate that I occupy and possess. You know why? Because I'm not a survivor. I'm not living in a survival mode. And I know what it is to wake up every day and feel like I'm chasing behind the day. Like it feels, I used to wake up every day and feel like, man, I can't catch up. I can't keep up. I was surviving. Man, if I could just get an opportunity. And I had to take advantage of the power that God put inside of me. And so you got to get to stability. But your stability in these stages is your money stability. You got to get stable, not just with gathering money, but you got to get stable with keeping it and multiplying it. You got to get stable. You got to get stable with that. And I can tell, if I sat down with a person, I can tell if they have financial stability. I ain't saying if they got money, if they have financial stability. I'm not talking about money. Because you can have no money in a bank account and still be financially stable because you could have went to zero for a different reason. So I can't say just because you don't have money in your bank that you're not financially stable. Maybe your money is invested in other things that are creating cash flow opportunities. But for the most part, you should have access to resources because you've either become stable in making it, managing it, and multiplying it, and you've put it somewhere because it's multiplying. Number 3, the third stage is the saving stage. This is where you get good at holding on to resources that you have at your disposal until an investment opportunity shows up. Most people who get good at saving become amazing at investing. If you've ever met anyone who invests a lot of money in themselves, I ain't talking about clothes. I'm talking about in education and training and getting around the right people. I guarantee you that person is a person who knows how to save money. Because the saving stage, I'm going to give you one word, is about discipline. That's what saving is about. Saving is about discipline. Saving is about discipline. Nobody can save anything if they're not disciplined. You get what I'm saying? You won't be able to save anything. You won't be able to save candy. You won't be able to save a relationship. Have you ever talked to somebody and it's like they just got to talk your ear off and tell you everything in the first conversation? And you like, dog, boo, can you save something for tomorrow? They can't save a conversation. And if you tell them something, they got to tell the world about it behind your back because they can't save nothing. These are people who are loose. And so if you're loose in your heart, you're going to be loose with your mouth. You might be loose in your behind. But you're going to be loose because you're not disciplined. You're not disciplined. So the saving stage is about you getting disciplined. But what am I getting disciplined on? Here's what I'm getting disciplined on. I'm getting disciplined on money. So I'm taking my survival skills as an entrepreneur who's developing, and I'm becoming stable. Because now when it comes to business and money, when it comes to economics, what I know is going to be used to get me to wealth, I have survived, I am stable, and now I'm disciplined to hold on to what I know works. If I would have used another word, it probably would have been consistency. Because most people who don't save are inconsistent. And I'm telling you, your life, I said this in one of our recent masterminds, your life is a reflection of your business and your finances. And your business and finances are reflections of your life. So if I want to know what kind of life you got, I can actually look at your business or your finances and tell. Like, you can look at my bank account or look at my business operation, and you could see what type of person I am. If I just showed you my profit and loss statement, my balance sheet, or my bank account, and if I showed you my business operation, like how my business runs, you'll know what kind of person I am, right? And guess what? If you got to know me and got to know personal things about me, and you found out that I owned a business and I had a bank account, just knowing me would be able to help you understand what my business looks like. Have you ever met somebody and they told you they had a business? We just had this conversation the other day. So they told you they had a business. And because you are a professional, you are a executive, what was the first thing you did? You went to their website. And when you went to their website, all you heard in your head was womp, womp, womp. You know why? Because she was already sketchy and skeptical in the conversation with the person. You were talking to them and you were already like, well, I'm going to just ask them anyway, just maybe I'm you try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I do the same thing. I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, okay, I'm going to just give them the benefit of the doubt. So let me get your email address. Let me get your website. Let me get your card. And then when I get in the car, I pull it up and I'm like, yeah, I ain't saving that number in my phone. I ain't got time, because you were a reflection of what I thought your business would be. So I already know it. So this is about the saving. And then the fourth stage is strategy. Strategy, I'm going to give you another word for strategy. This is a word that's probably going to throw you off. Habits. Strategy. I don't want you to think about, oh, I got to come up with this strategy. I got to come up with this amazing strategy. I want you to look at strategy as, I got to develop habits. I got to develop habits. And success, the success stage, I'm going to tell you what the success stage is. I'm giving you free words. I don't even know if you can see that low. But success is about skill. Success is about skill. So let's walk through it again. The 5 stages of wealth. Number 1, survival stage. This is about you going from hustler to entrepreneur to business owner to asset manager. There are systems, there are infrastructures and processes to help you do that. Second stage is stability stage. Now, once you get good at business and finances, you're going to become stable with making money, managing money, and multiplying money. You just get good at the money game. You get good at the money game. So that means you can't just focus on getting good with your products and services. Now you actually have to get even better with your money management. You got to become good at money. This is why so many people, I meet people all the time who have great ideas. They got good business ideas. They got good ministry ideas, but they're not going nowhere. You know why? Because they're good at that thing that they do, but they're not good at business. They're not good at money. They're not good at systems. They're not good at structure. They're not good at processes. So they never become stable with what they need to become stable with. And then third stage is savings. So the saving stage is about you being able to capture what you've learned in the first 2 stages and get disciplined at that thing so that no matter what comes or goes, you are immovable. That's what Paul the apostle told the Corinthian church. in the book of Corinthians. I believe it's 1 Corinthians 15:58. He says, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast and unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing this, that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. But think about what he told them to do. Be ye steadfast and unmovable. In other words, I want you to get so disciplined that you can't be shaken. You can't be moved. Every time we see you, something about you is just winning because you are disciplined. The fourth stage is the strategy stage. This is not about you putting a marketing strategy together. People always want to talk about that kind of stuff. Oh, I need a marketing strategy. I need this strategy. I need that strategy. I need a brand strategy. I need a social media strategy. No, you don't. What you need is better habits. And if your habits are connected to your discipline, and your discipline is connected to your money, and your money is about handling your business, guess what's going to happen? You're going to develop a skill set. You're going to develop a skill set. So here's what I want to share with you to basically summarize this whole discussion. I'm going to say this and y'all going to really y'all going to be like, man, this dude is off his rocker. I'm going to summarize this whole discussion. Here's what my summary is. Wealth This is my summary. Wealth is a skill set. Some of you are going to take 4 days to figure that part out. It's going to take you some time to process what I just said right here. Wealth is a skill set. Wealth is a skill set. So for me to get wealthy, for me to become successful, for me to get rich, for me to become a millionaire, for me to experience financial freedom, for me to be well off, for me to be financially stable and comfortable, whatever you want to name it, however you want to word it, it's all centered around wealth. And maybe I'll be the first one that you hear tell you wealth is a skill set. So that means I actually have to get good and keep getting gooder and better in order to accumulate this thing called wealth. Because it doesn't matter how good you are or how skilled you are at other crafts. If you don't develop the skill set centered around business, the skill set centered around finances, the skill set centered around economics, most likely you'll never get good at wealth, because wealth is actually a skill set. So all of you that are watching me, you're listening to me, you're saying, Ramon, I got to develop a skill set. I got to get out of the hustle. I got to get out of the survival. I got to get out of the grind. I got to get out of having a good week making money, a bad week, a good week, and then a bad month. I got to get out of trying things and they're not working, and waking up every day and winging it and not knowing if I'm coming or going. If you want to get out of that and get good at really running a business system and properly scaling that business system, you have to put yourself, number one, around people, and in that environment, you around these people, start learning and developing the things that you need to learn and develop when it comes to getting you to this place called wealth. This is why we put this 1-year business coaching program together. I think it's going to go down in history to be one of the most extraordinary programs on business and finance that was made available during this time of the pandemic. I guarantee 5 years from now, people are going to be on CNBC talking about the guy that was nominated back in 2021 as a financial literacy leader and influencer. They're going to be talking about this young man that was in Buckhead, Atlanta, who taught these principles, who shared his personal practices, who became like very massively wealthy who created a lot of millionaires through this program called a one-year coaching program. I promise you it's going to happen. It's already happening. This is why people are nominating me and talking about me, because once they start learning it, they're like, oh my God, I got it. You know what? I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I thought about this yesterday. I just want to plug this in, because those of you that are watching me, you like, I want to get into that program. I want you to text the word coaching. Text the word coaching. Stop trying to overthink it and process it. Just make the commitment to say, you know what? I need to be trained in business. I need to learn to become a successful, classy business owner who has dignity, who understands how to operate a business through best practices. I want to learn about sales. I want to learn about marketing. I want to learn about financial systems. I want to learn about executing certain strategies and plans through my business. I want to learn about products and services. I want to learn how to develop them. And I want to be around people who know what they're doing and who's actually doing it. Well, that's what you get in our one-year business coaching program. I'll be more than happy. My team will be more than happy to talk to you about some of the benefits that we provide in it, or all the benefits for that matter, but we want to get you plugged in. We have an extended offer that we have given to everyone that's in our community. For the last 2 weeks, we have offered a 24-month payment plan. Okay, so we have a one-year program, and we're giving you 2 years to pay a one-year program off. That's how confident we are that it works. That's how confident we are that it works. And so basically what that looks like is you text the word coaching, we respond back to you, we onboard you into our coaching program, and all you're doing is paying your first payment of 24 payments. So you're giving yourself 24 months to pay off the cost of a one-year program. And here's the truth. I can guarantee it, because we have clients who've already done it. I guarantee before the year is up, if you implement and execute what we teach and train you on when it comes to business and finance, you're probably going to pay it off before that year. We have clients who we talk to all the time, and most of their conversations are always centered around, yeah, I want to go ahead and pay it off. Why do people want to pay off a one-year program before the year is up? Because they know I'm in it. They know this is what I need. I'm learning what I need to learn, and I want to get you plugged in on that. You can't keep going through business life, going through financial life, going through economic life on your own, because you never leave that first stage. Even if you have dreams to get wealthy, you remain a survivor. Or maybe you get through surviving and then you just get stable, because this is what a lot of people do. See, I know a lot of people who get a little money. If they get 5 or 10 grand, they just lock up. Oh my God, I got to hold on to it, because you don't know enough. You don't know enough. Where people who know about wealth, if they get $5,000 or $10,000, they're like, where can I spend it? Where can I get rid of it? What program can I buy? What system can I buy? What coaching can I get? What consulting can I get? They're not looking at that as something to put up and hide for a rainy day, because they're on a journey and they know what stage in that journey that they're on. And if they're not at that success stage where they don't have money problems anymore or resource problems anymore, if they're not there, they're not going to hold on and hoard those funds. So I want you to text the word coaching to 404-478-7213. So what I was getting ready to say was, I thought about it last night while I was just sitting down, preparing to go to bed, and it just hit me. It hit me. It dawned on me that, you know what? Every coaching session that I perform, there's a moment, and y'all get a chance to see it too when you're watching it. Every coaching session is the same. There's a moment in that coaching session that the light comes on for that person and you see them smile. Have you noticed that? Like, there's a moment in that coaching session, and it really hit me because the other day when we facilitated that coaching session with the young man, Mr. Cover, and we're sitting on there, and I didn't really think about it until y'all reminded me to make sure he got the the recording of the session. And so I was trying to download it from my computer to push it so he can have it on, what is it, the Google workspace or whatever. And when I clicked it, it opened up. And so I just started chopping through it to make sure it was the right one. And so I just happened to get to a point where I was just waiting to see him, because most of the time you just saw my big head. And so I'm like, let me make sure this is the session with him. And when I got through and I saw him, I just clicked play, and I was saying something, and it was like an hour and a half in, and all of a sudden it dawned on me. It was like, you see his face lit, like he was like, and he started smiling. I was like, and I remember responding, because every time I see it on a client, I'll say something because I catch it. I'm a preacher, so I'm so used to being in front of people all the time. I know when something is actually resonating with somebody, especially being a preacher. You're on stage every week. And so you're on stage, you're looking at everybody every week. So you know who tired, you know who ain't feeling you, you know who offended, you know who thinking about the food on the stove, you know who just don't want to be there because they auntie got them there, they spouse. I've seen it all in 21 years of preaching, man, I'm telling you. So that's always been my thing. But to see that, and I thought back, I was like, wow, there's always a moment in their life or in that session that boom, the light comes on, and it's like, oh my God. And for different people, it's something different. For you, it might be something about your business that you have a glitch in and you don't know how to get past it. It may be a marketing issue that you don't understand. It may be a sales process that you can't figure out. It may be an infrastructure thing where you don't know if you should have 4 LLCs or 1 holding company and 3 divisions. Or it may be a financial strategy or a tax strategy. Well, when you start getting the coaching, and just in that first session, we flesh through all of those details to set you up for the 1 year, I guarantee it's going to be a moment in that session where you're like, there it go. I love that. I love when people have that experience. I want you to have that experience. I want you to have that experience, because I know how many years it took for me to self-learn. I want you to keep in mind, I didn't go to Columbia Business School. I didn't go to Harvard, but I put thousands and thousands. Like, studies show that if you study a certain subject for at least 10,000 hours, you become an expert or a master in that thing. Well, you got to think about somebody like myself. I've been an entrepreneur full-time for the last 21 years, but more specifically since my wife and I have been married for 18, where I got real serious and focused. I've been a full-time entrepreneur while being a full-time minister, having to master both worlds and figure out how can both of those worlds work together. So even when I was speaking to my spiritual daughter yesterday, who was here, who swung by the office yesterday, I was talking to her about how bringing both those worlds together is one of the hardest things you ever do. Ministry and marketplace. And I've been able to master both and bring them together without compromising or diluting the integrity and the authenticity of each one. So I know how it feels when you hit certain pockets of data, of learning, of information, where the light comes on and you're like, oh my God, I got it. That's it. Wow. And that feeling is a feeling I want everybody to experience. So if you're interested, or you want to know more, or you're just ready to join our 1-year business coaching program, please text the word coaching. If you want to be a part of our business certification program, you want to become more professional as a consultant, coach, or trainer, or maybe you would like to become a part of our licensing program where you don't have to create your own content. You don't have to go through 18 years of learning and studying. All you have to do is just take the information we have and go reproduce it and make money off of it. I want you to text the word certify to the number you see in the comments. So that's coaching or certified to 404-478-7213. Hey, I love y'all. We have a lot of work to do today. We have a lot of things lined up on this Friday. We'll see you Monday, same place, same time, right here. Guess what? On the Ramon.